Hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome to Two Pastors and a Podcast. Do 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 do. Shh. Mine is.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It has been a morning getting this thing up and running.
Worked real hard. I had extra time and I still don't know my question.
I know. Well, you didn't look at it till just now.
No, I didn't.
But, all right, here we go. Well, good morning to everyone else. Whenever you get on, we are here when it's not blizzard-like outside.
Mm-hmm. We are
I
here.
got to get kind of situated.
I know, we're all out of sync. Nothing's where it should be.
I think hour and a half working on the video back there. Something happened this morning, and technology being technology, so I'm a little behind.
That's okay.
But here we are. Finally made it. Resolution looks good on the screen.
We don't look skinny.
Stretched,
That's unfortunate.
tall and skinny anymore.
It was very beautiful. Now you just get me.
I didn't even, it is what it is.
All right, I am ready. I don't know where we are in our story, though.
I think we left off just as they crossed the water, right? They're not in the wilderness yet when we picked up. Maybe you remember where we were. It's been a hot minute since we were able to do this.
It's been a while.
We went through the plagues and everything.
Yep, we did that.
And then they start to wander a little bit. I think you can kind of go through. Did we talk about crossing through the Red Sea?
I don't think so. No, we did talk about the pillars.
I had to.
Yeah, but I don't think we talked about the Red Sea. Did we?
I think we did.
I don't remember.
I think we did. Well, that's okay. We'll just jump to
We'll get there when we
last
get there.
half of chapter 15 if we get to it today.
All right.
We're so well prepared today.
Always.
This is
This is par
it's
for the
been-
course.
Yeah, a little more than usual. I'm pretty exhausted. I think. Yeah, I'm just exhausted. You're exhausted too, I know.
Yeah, I went back to my not sleeping last night, so that was fun.
I slept until 6 o'clock this morning.
That's better.
Mm-hmm.
Getting better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then you didn't have time to do your Lego, so.
I didn't have the energy to do my Lego
that's
set.
fair. You could just look at a picture of mine. Just feel like that's what mine would look like.
Well, I didn't get much of a day off because I spent the morning talking to an entity. I spent some talking to you. I spent some talking to our treasurer. So it wasn't exactly a resting
not a day off.
day. I didn't stop working until about 2. So I haven't had a day off in a while.
You should have just said, let's take today off. I've been like, I'm there.
No. I think when you're a pastor, when you're most tired is definitely when you should come in and do some things like this.
That's fair.
And a lot of just if there's building stuff or, those simple things that don't take a lot of brain power, it's better to do that. Because if I were to stay home today, I would just be bitter and tired, and I would do nothing.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's kind of the lesson you try to learn as a pastor over the years is when to take days off, because it makes sense, like take off Monday, which I do a lot of the times. take off Monday because that's when you're most tired from
Right.
Sunday. But then you're so tired that you don't have the energy to do the other things that you really love that actually bring you life. I mean, I don't like to use that. Sorry, I don't want to use emotional language because I think that's dumb. Do the things that give you life is
Yeah.
probably a more mature way of looking at it. That's when you know I'm tired because I'm even starting to get agitated.
No. Let's get into the Christmas spirit. How
I
about
know.
that?
We will. But I think so. So I started transitioning to taking Fridays off.
Yeah.
Because I was more like mentally rested and I felt more energy to do some things. But yesterday I woke up at like 4:00 in the morning. I went to bed super late. I can't sleep.
Yeah.
There's so much. And I fixed our dishwasher at 5 a.m. It was ridiculous.
What else are you going to do at 5 o'clock in the morning, though? You know?
I told you my ADHD brain at 5 a.m. is the most calm brain on the planet. And I don't feel overwhelmed by things. And I don't get that, not right now. Kind of, I'm just like, go get the toolbox. And there I am, trying not to wake anybody up while I'm fixing the dishwasher.
Did you get it fixed?
And it was just, so all of our cabinets and our countertops are pretty old.
Yeah.
And so over the years of having like things screwed in, and multiple dishwashers put in and taken out even before we moved in, it's just all those attachments that hold things in place. They're just, the screws aren't staying anymore. Yeah. And so it's been a long period of time where when you try to pull the dishwasher door open, the whole dishwasher
just pops out.
And so I was, pulling it out and putting the attachments back on and trying to find new holes. So I got it temporarily fixed, but someday when we're not dirt poor again because of the basement, maybe we'll get a chance to replace some cabinets that are
need it.
They've just reached their end. But I priced out our kitchen with the way that it's built out, just replacing with box cabinets, just not custom.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Expensive. Is wood still like crazy expensive right now?
Don't even. Everything's expensive because of stupid people. Everything's expensive. No, I priced out that kitchen and it was $10,000 just in cabinets. Or maybe it was $7,000, $8,000. It was a lot because I measured every single one and I just went to the Home Depot and I just picked out the exact same cabinets that we have right now.
Expensive.
I was like, are you kidding me? And they're not. This is still like just normal everyday people things that you can afford. It's not like I went to the artsy section of the Home Depot to pick out my favorite cabinets. It was just plain white cabinets.
Right.
And I'm not going to get not painted. Well, the thing is, I learned here, they don't paint cabinets.
They wrap them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's starting to peel off back
is.
here in the fellowship hall where it's like, oh, I thought that was paint.
It
was just wallpaper.
That's what
covering
it is.
your cabinet. What is happening? What is $10,000 for wrapped fake wood cabinets?
That's right.
Just get the unfinished and paint them, I guess. But then you're spending money in, I don't know.
Stain them, maybe.
The world we live in.
Yeah.
Today's not the day, Josh. Today's not the day. I'm not mad today. I'm just tired today, and things just kind of get me riled up.
Just kind of come out.
So let's get into happier things.
Christmas theme. Get to know you.
Get to know your pastor today.
Okay. Maybe this isn't the best one since you're already getting riled up.
Nope.
What Christmas song makes you cringe every time you hear it?
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
That's Ella's favorite.
That song. That voice is nails on.
It's a child.
Nails. I don't care.
It's a
child that
singing
never
it.
should have been put on a record. It is nails on a chalkboard to me.
Oh, that's so funny.
I need to get Kleenex.
Oh, here we go.
My blood pressure is high.
The hippopotamus is making the blood pressure rise.
I took in Kleenex box.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
The That's so funny.
That is the most cringe song on the planet. I can't stand it.
Bad one. Okay.
I think it's everything. I think it's the nails on the chalkboard voice of a child that never should have been on a record. Listen, don't be offended. If you like that voice, that's your problem.
Ella will fight you.
Ella will fight me. And
she loves that
song. I love
song.
Ella. And Ella, your opinion of that voice is great.
But it's also wrong.
It's wrong.
It's
also the message of it. It's just
fair.
maybe a hippopotamus will do. Oh, if there's a hidden meaning behind it, I don't even care.
I don't know what it is.
No one does.
I think it's
because
just
it's the worst Christmas song ever written.
Oh, it's so.
That's that.
That's so good.
Definitive. What is
Fair.
your most cringe Christmas song?
I'm gonna get hate. I don't like All I Want for Christmas Is You. The Mariah Carey. I don't like that one.
It has become society's.
I know, and I just don't
you can
like
hear
it.
the first sound of
Yes.
the song, and everyone knows exactly what it's going to
Yeah.
be.
I don't know if it's cringe. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, you asked cringe. I gave you cringe.
Yeah, that's fair. That is.
Is that
pretty
cringe to you?
It makes me cringe when
Well,
I hear it.
I think that's
then
the
yes.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the Christmas song that is most cringe to you who are watching? Now, I'll ask a follow-up question. What is your absolute favorite Christmas song? I'll do two parts. It's your favorite Christmas song that's Christian, hymn, whatever, and your favorite Christmas song that's secular.
Jingle Bell Rock. I like that one.
Okay. So that's the secular one. All right.
I really like Oh Holy Night.
Oh, yeah.
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 I
agree
don't know
with
if it's it might be my absolute favorite. I always liked playing it on the piano
Oh, yeah.
when I was.
It's that 6/8.
Yes.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
Yep.
dun, 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 dun. Oh, yeah.
It's really fun to play.
I'll just do a pick of 6/8 with a G on my guitar, and that's it. Like it's that every time. As soon as I pick that, that's the only song that comes to mind.
That's right.
Okay, so Oh Holy Night on the hymn side,
And Jingle Bell Rock.
and Jingle Bell Rock. Okay.
Do, 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 do. I think it's a bit of nostalgia. It reminds me of Home Alone.
It is this nostalgia because when I hear that song for the first time, it's like, oh yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
All right. For me, I've already said to the church. I think "Oh Holy Night" is definitely up there.
Yeah.
For sure. There aren't many Christmas hymns that I just don't absolutely adore. So if I'm in definitely a singing, kind of want that Goosey's "Oh Holy Night's" going to give that to you every time, especially if the right person sings it. And it's like, oh, okay, there it is. It's just so grand, which is what we've been preaching on, and I think so far that's gone well.
Good.
We did. Second verse is not well known,
Right.
even for me.
Yeah.
And listen, church, I did. I practiced that second verse so many times this past week, trying to be ready to sing it at the end of the service. And I messed up hard. If you go back and watch it, I had to rap through a whole line just to catch up with where it was. I was like, oh no, I messed up on it. And I kind of psyched myself out.
Well, if you're not prepared, like that ending, the way the words land on the notes is a little weird.
On the second verse especially, it's just like, oh no. And I was like, just try to get through halfway through. Sorry about that. We made it though. I mean, that was the only mess up halfway through the song, and then the last part
that's so
we
funny.
got good, but it was luckily Facebook's deleting their videos after
Every
30
30
days, so
it's gone.
no one will ever know.
Just if you go to YouTube, that's fine.
Secular Christmas song. It's more of a vocal than an actual song. I get that Bing Crosby type smooth, masculine voice. And right now in my head, you've got Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen.
You're telling me White Christmas isn't your favorite?
That's White Christmas. I like that song's fine. I like I'll Be Home for Christmas, but that's got that.
That's the what is it? The crooner?
Christmas.
Crooners.
I like that mask. The how they kind of get that buttery voice that holds out certain notes in time. So any song that has that kind of classic sound. I don't like modern kind of attempts at Christmas music where they're doing vocal runs and all that junk. I like that.
Not even Michael Bublé? He's got that smooth voice.
He does. I do like Michael Bublé. He doesn't do all the Mariah Carey junk or all the other things where everyone's like, I'll show you how good a singer I am by the 37 notes I'm going to hit in one breath. I just need, I'll be home for Christmas. I love that buttery, deep, warm vocal. So you got that. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer has that at times. I'll be home for Christmas. Yep. I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas. That's got that buttery voice in my head too. I only hate it because I hate the movie.
It's such a good movie.
Anyway, what's your favorite Christmas hymn?
Yes.
And what's your favorite secular Christmas song? It's okay to have one. But you also have to say what's your most cringe Christmas song.
I have a feeling you're going to get a lot of love for your hippopotamus. I don't think anybody likes that song except for Ella.
It's horrifying. When we were decorating our house, it popped up, and I immediately, I was like, turn that off. Get that song off of here. I don't want anything to do with it. It's not allowed in my house.
No hippopotami here.
I want that song to disappear for Christmas, for all of eternity. That's where I am.
I hope somebody says all they want for Christmas is their two front teeth as their favorite Christmas song. Is that an actual song? Because I only know that one line.
Yeah. My two front teeth, my two front teeth. There's a line that comes after that. I can't remember what it is. I think the twins, Callie and Kinsley, one of them is missing some teeth, aren't they? Or they missed them, they grew back in already?
They're all missing teeth. I don't know.
You could reach a certain point, they just start falling out like crazy. True. It happens early in life, and then it happens later in life, too. Wait, teeth, Missy, is Grandma got ran over by a reindeer the cringe one?
Oh.
You got to specify.
Yeah, specify.
That one's... that reminds me. I saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. Maybe I just don't like to hear kids sing.
That might be accurate.
Maybe I just don't like that. She says that's her cringe. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer is her cringe song. I feel that. I think I get.
That's so funny.
I feel that. I wish more people were on. I think this could be a really fun conversation.
Would be a fun one. That's all right.
I'll try to keep track of the comments throughout the day and share with Caitlin when someone posts what their cringe song is. I am really curious.
What else would be cringe?
Grandma got over by a reindeer. It's because of that. It's because of that.
Or maybe Missy's just salty about deer.
Maybe. Or mailboxes. I think I remember talking to Becky a few years ago or something. I think, Becky, correct me if I'm wrong, or if she's not doesn't watch these, which is okay. I'll just need to find out for myself. But I think she said she doesn't like Bing Crosby. What? I don't know. I mean, to each their own. I mean, I don't like listening to kids sing, apparently.
Apparently.
You won't see me here on the 21st when our kids sing. I'll be wearing earmuffs.
He's so funny, guys.
I love listening to our kids.
They're actually, I don't know if you've heard them practice.
Oh, we heard we heard them.
They are doing very well at projecting, and I hope that continues.
Something changes when you come out here.
This is true.
Ooh, we have to decorate the puppet
We do.
What do we call it? Okay, what's the name of that thing?
The puppet booth?
Booth?
Stand?
Stage?
Stage? The puppet wall?
It's something.
The puppet window.
I keep calling it something
window.
different every time, and I don't even know what it is. I just keep changing it. We got to decorate that because we need that to look like what, a manger?
I think so. Or a barn.
A barn.
Yeah. Or were you born in a barn?
Anybody
man?
want to help do that? I mean that seriously. Anybody want to help do that? We could use your help. Got to take off all the VBS stuff that we keep on there because we've not had the energy or the time to change it.
Well, I did start taking it off, and it just, because of the weather and sunlight and stuff, it's kind of stained the blue paper. It's really funny.
Here's where we are.
That's all right. That's all right.
Okay. Well, Missy says it's a booth.
Okay. Puppet booth.
There you have it. The booth of
the
puppets.
Missy has spoken.
The puppet booth. We need to decorate that. By the way, if you like to decorate anything, we need to talk because I love to decorate things and I just don't have a lot of time to do it, but I love to do it. So we need more people involved in the church. I want not in a sense that people aren't willing. It's not that at all. Mm-hmm. I think it's just one, finding the courage to ask and not make an assumption that you're stepping on toes. Mm-hmm. And two, just be more clear, like, I want you involved. So whether it's decorating the church at any season, if you love to decorate, I'd love to put you together with people that love to decorate and let you start planning every season out, that kind of thing. So if you like that, be a part of that. We definitely need a lot of help in the sound and visual department for Sunday mornings. PB. What does that mean? Puppet booth. Okay, got it. We need. So if you are technologically gifted and interested, or if you've ever run or managed sound before, if you got a good ear for that, a good understanding of soundboards, or if you like to put together visuals or help run things back there, maybe give Isaiah a break from time to time, you want to learn how to do that. We definitely need that. So that's another place to serve in the church that we need some help right now.
Yep.
And then you need lots of help.
I do.
Not people who are serving on a Sunday morning, but people who are so passionate about children's ministry that they want to build it and they want to help you make your vision come to life. Not bring in their own vision, but to hear your heart and your vision and feel your passion and bounce ideas off of each other and make those things come to life. And so we need that too. One of the things that we've learned this week, I think this would be good to talk about. One of the things that we've learned over the past couple of weeks, really had to do a deep dive. I was about our church and who we are and who we're going to be. I was at Thanksgiving with Carrie's family in Kansas City. And that was really good for Carrie and the girls. But I did it.
You did it. Okay, continue, Josh. Keep talking.
The subtlety today. Anyway, I was having a conversation with my brother-in-law, and I'm killing myself. This is not the day. And, he was asking how the church was doing. I think there was an assumption that it doesn't do well. And I said, no, actually, surprisingly to me, we're doing really, really well. If you look at numbers as a metric, that kind of thing. And he said, oh, that's really good. And I was like, yeah. I said, my challenge has been over the past several months is like this big burst of attendance and those kinds of things, like trying to hold everyone together. We've been so small and tight-knit for so long that it's easy, and I saw where we had become so just comfortable as a congregation that disruption was too disruptive. Not because it was too disruptive, but because we were too inward.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, I want to, my test as a leader right now has been trying to hold all people together, get people to know one another and also maintain our identity as who we are as a church so that when we move forward, we're all on the same page. And he asked me a question. And so I'm talking pretty confidently. And he said, oh, okay, what's your identity? And I didn't have a clear answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of stumbled around a little bit. And I'm like, well, we're relational and we like to be close and, do life together. It's all generic answers, though. As I was answering, I realized I've not given an answer.
Right.
Like, what is it that binds this church together in mission that everyone can agree on? This is why we exist. And the people in our church say, yes, this is why we exist. And, I'm finishing up, actually, I think the end of this, like the 21st, like that Sunday is going to be my official finishing 10 years of being here in Crawfordsville as pastor. So I'm right at the end. I'm almost done. I've finished double digits, 10 years as pastor. It's been apparent to me what our focus has been.
Yeah.
But, we've done all the things like vision statements and mission statements. We've had multiple vision statements over the years, trying to nail down who we are and where we're going and why we exist. And it's all that generic church language, which is not a bad thing. It's just generic. Mm-hmm. It's ambiguous. And every church is bonded around, I hope. Maybe not every church is, but I would hope every church is bound around making disciples.
Yeah.
That's still generic, though. So if every church, if that's your only mission, if that's your only reason for existing in the community that you're in, well, there's 97 other churches trying to do that right now. It doesn't, you close your doors, no one's going to miss that because there's 96 other churches that's their apparent focus. In truth, though, I've learned everyone's got a focus. Everyone's got a reason for existing. It's just not every church, myself as pastor included, has been able to or taken the time to really sit down and say and articulate that clearly. So he asked that question, and I just stumbled through it. And I was like, I thought, I gave him the answer I could, but I was really in that moment just frustrated with myself. Okay? Come on, man. What am I? I say I want to hold us all together and go down the same path. I can't even tell you what that is. That's so dumb. I'm a pastor. I should be able to articulate that based on where we started 10 years ago and who we are today. And over the course of the past couple of weeks, kind of coming out of that, there's been a lot that's happened. A lot that has caused these saggy eyes and sleepless nights. And one of those things that I've realized is, there is a unique reason for us being here. I've never articulated it, and we've never articulated it. And partly because the moment you hone in on something, you know that you're going to get some pushback for who perceptively or thinks or perceives is going to be left out, which is not at all the truth. There is just a difference between knowing your focus and investing the majority of your energy and ministry resources in a direction versus just trying to do everything all at once. There's a great business book out there that Pastor Craig pointed me to years ago called Good to Great. And in the book, he was talking about corporate structure. And businesses flounder. They begin to suffer when they start doing a lot of really good things, but they're not doing anything great. And it's because a lot of the good things kind of counteract each other a little bit. You spread yourself out, you're doing too much, and nothing gets the full attention it deserves or go beyond good to something great. And in churches, we do that too, where we try to do everything. I think the Nazarene Church has been talking about this even on our district. If you look at Nazarene Missions International, and if you want to be a mission priority one church, there's 800 things you have to focus on. Well, you can't do any of them well, right? And so you overload people with information, and it's like, well, there's this to do, and there's this to do, and there's this to do, and it just in the NMI department, you're just overwhelmed, right? So NMI can be good, and you're doing all the good things, but you're not focusing on any, so you're not doing any of them really, really, really well. You're not known for that. So we kind of employed that in NMI by, hey, we're going to focus on Alabaster offering. We're going to hand out NCM magazines. We're going to do our Harbor Tree. We'll do Kids Against Hunger or some kind of outreach. And that's it. Like that's our, because you can't, at least make those really, really good.
Yeah.
Right? So over the years, in an effort to make sure that no one feels left out or perceives that they're being left out, and that's part of the problem, is it's a me first mentality, is, you just throw resources everywhere, you try to do everything. But then my brother asked the question, well, what's your identity that you're pooling everyone around? And I can't give a good answer. So long story short, with all these sleepless nights and all the stressors that you and I have been through in the past couple weeks and the past several months, it's like, well, then who are we? And definitively, I'll say this, and it's been enacted that way since I got here, and it's something that you look around the congregation, you recognize. There was a time, and it's not right now, and this has to change. But there was a time for about a year and a half, 2 years, where 35% of our Sunday morning attendance was children. Not teenagers and children, but just children. 35%. Now, I'd say probably 35% of our congregation right now, well, probably 25 to 30, I'd have to do the number, is children and teenagers. Some of them have moved up. But there was a time for a couple of years where 35% of our Sunday morning attendance was kids. That to say, that's always been our focus. So you and I spent some time last week. We got to do some fun work on Thursday.
It was much needed.
It was much needed. And I said, yeah, that's been our focus. Our focus has been families with kids and teenagers. And how do you put words to that? Raising up the next generation in the faith. I think it's incredibly important right now. And I've known that for years. We talked about this, and we've set up structures, and we've done all these complicated things in children's ministry and youth ministry to make it safe and make it accessible and all these things. We've tried Nerf and nachos and Christmas programs and all of these things. Kids Against Hunger, and including our kids and all this. Family Sundays have become a regular part of what we do. I just never felt confident to say it out loud because I guess as a pastor, I don't want to deal with the, well, what about me comments. I just don't want to deal with it. But it allows everything to get muddy, get a little gray. It doesn't mean that nothing else matters, it's not our focus, but what's our primary focus? I've sat on a school bus taking Emma to the State House for a field trip. I think I shared this with you shortly afterwards. That's a unique situation to be on a school bus full of, I think at that time Emma was 4th grade, sitting on a bus full of 4th or 5th graders or 4th graders, and as a pastor, just listening. Not judging, just listening. Kids are great. I love being around kids, and, I don't have to try very hard. I can just be, and it's okay. And But, sitting on the bus listening, I was listening to some of the things being talked about, listening to some of the language, listening to, wow, okay, it is very apparent to me that if any of these kids go to church, their parents are just Sunday Christians.
Yeah.
And it's just we go because we go occasionally. But it was very apparent to me that most of these kids have not been to church. And I don't mean that in that they're doing a bunch of bad things. I'm just saying it was obvious. And I was really marked by that day, thinking, whoa, if a school bus is in a situation where I feel like maybe there's literally 3 or 4 or 5 kids on there that might know the story of Jesus and actually go to church, that's our future.
Mm-hmm.
In every town,
Yep.
in every state, in every whatever, that's our future, is the vast majority of people. We used to say we want to make sure our youth ministries and our children's ministries are strong because when the statistics have shown for years that when they graduate from high school, they graduate from the church.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even in church
That's
anymore. Right. And it was profoundly obvious to me. And so we've invested a lot of time and a lot of energy into trying to find ways to get people in. VBS is one of those things we started doing. And this year we got a lot of pushback for pushing the date back because, we didn't all agree on this 30 person. And I became very staunch in saying, if you're not inviting kids that don't know Jesus, there's zero reason to do Vacation Bible School.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense because kids need to know Jesus.
Mm-hmm. It's an outreach. That's the whole point of VBS. We don't do it for the kids who are already here completely. It's for the kids who don't know Jesus at all. It's like a crash course. Yeah.
It is. And every VBS has you spending time saying, what do you think about this Jesus that you've learned about?
Yeah.
And we have people in our church that the reason they are Christian is because
that's right.
of VBS. And so we've enacted all these things over the years, but I've never actually said, why are we here? Why does Harbor Nazarene Church exist in Crawfordsville, Indiana? Plain as day for children and youth to raise up the next generation of believers in the faith so that they might raise up the next generation of believers in the faith. And their kids and grandkids will continue the trend of raising up the next generation.
Yep.
And so we'll do things differently. And we got to spend some time last week kind of what's your goal for every kid when they leave 5th grade and go into to 6th grade, to youth group. What are the 4 or 5 things we came up with that you want to know that we accomplished for them before they get into youth ministry? Do you remember what some of those are?
So we kind of went by age group a little bit as we were doing this, and we thought about what someone in the nursery or the 2s and 3s should know by the time they move into the next area, and then what the kindergartners should know when they move into the elementary. And I think a few of them, one was for sure knowing the stories of the Bible.
Yeah. So one goal is that when they get out of 5th grade and go into 6th grade, they know core stories of the Bible.
Yeah. And then one was through knowing the birth, life, and death of Jesus, they know how much Jesus loves them.
Yeah. So they understand God's grace and God's love and that story of the gospel.
And then we talked about, especially for the elementary kids, they start to learn like orthodoxy and means of grace in a way that they can understand it.
Like a theological foundation.
Yes,
in their own way, but the importance of baptism and communion and why we believe what we believe, just on a very simple level. So we found like this new Nazarene curriculum on the Foundry.
Very excited about it.
Yeah, that's preteen catechism. And I know that's a scary word, but
it's really cool.
Yeah, it's like an 8-week thing for just 5th graders going into 6th grade where we're going to test it because we don't have any 5th graders this year. We're going to test it by setting up once a month meetings through the winter and spring after Christmas to kind of see what days work well throughout those seasons. So that way next January we begin with what will be 5th graders go through this process of learning theological foundations that help propel them into 6th grade.
Yeah. And I think if I remember correctly, the last one we didn't get the wording exactly how we wanted it yet, but it basically how to live as a Christian, like Christian morals.
Yeah, ethics
and
morals,
stuff like that.
What's important about their body.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not just a church thing. It's not just a spirit thing.
Yeah.
It's how you live your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want our kids to leave 5th grade and not come to a youth ministry where they stare at every question and they're like, I've never heard of the story of Daniel.
Yeah.
Or I think
And when we were discussing this, it's important for parents and the church to understand that this is a group effort.
Yeah.
You have to be also telling these stories at home, at least mentioning it at the very least, but like it doesn't take that long to just tell the story of Daniel or whatever story.
Yeah, so whatever story they're going through or whatever they're working through, that's one of the things you're going to be doing, right, is equipping parents.
Yeah.
It's not this week. It's a
Right.
developing thing,
Yeah.
but equipping parents to reinforce at home on one day what they heard here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got we teach our 2 and 3-year-olds Bible stories too, right?
Yeah.
Like so if you've got a 2 and 3-year-old, you can spend all week just read the same story every single day, just reinforcing that because they need that at home. We've talked about that before, and some of you have been deeply impacted by that we get 45 minutes here.
If you just come on a Sunday.
Yeah.
It's
so we want to equip you to do that.
Yeah.
But that's how we work together to make sure that when you measure your success when someone leaves 5th grade and goes to youth ministry in August of every year, how do you measure it? Well, I want to look back and say, do they know these core stories? And we're going to list out what those stories are going to be. They're not going to know everything,
Right.
but we want to say the right ones and reinforce those stories over and over so when they leave, they have a working understanding of what they believe.
Right. When
anyway.
it comes to children's ministry, you're basically just trying to build a foundation.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing. And so if they have the foundation of those 4 core tenets that we have decided upon, then we believe that they will be set up for a successful understanding of their faith.
Yeah, and then you get to youth ministry, and then we get to dive into it in deeper ways. Yeah. It'll be a good kind of... We want to make sure that our children's ministry is building them up to be strong in their faith so that when they get to youth ministry, we're able to build upon that. So when they're out in their schools that are much less controlled in a middle and high school sector, that we can build on that even more to how they live their life there. All that to say, why does Harbor Nazarene Church exist? Well, it's always existed to raise up the next generation in the faith. And right now our children's ministry is struggling numerically.
It is.
And that should be unacceptable to us as a church. Honestly. And I don't mean that with a scowl on my face. It's the one thing I'm talking about today that's not mad about. It's not a hippopotamus for Christmas.
It's not
or
a
something.
hippopotamus.
I don't say that with a scowl on my face. I say when we look at our children's ministry and when it seems a bit empty, we should lament that and say, wait, we're not fulfilling our mission. What's happened that's keeping us from fulfilling our mission? And let's get back on that, right? And so so it's been exciting to be able to articulate that together and as a church begin the process of how do we say that?
Mm-hmm.
What are the other things we do? This morning I was even on the way here thinking about Caravan and which is the Nazarene Church's kind of after school program that they do. Like we got a great facility for that. And we got people that I think are really passionate about those kinds of things. Maybe we can begin planning on trying to do something like that. Maybe we can't do it next semester, but maybe we can.
Yeah.
I was thinking about youth ministry. How do I open up this building or do something somewhere where once a week, we all might gather somewhere, whether it's here and we have hot chocolate and we just hang out for a while. What are we doing to keep connected throughout the weeks? So it's been really empowering as a pastor the past little bit to say, ooh, if Jason asked me that question today, that's my brother-in-law's name, if he said, what's your identity? I'm excited to say, oh, it's raising up the next generation of children and youth. Like that's what's going to bond us together. And so I'm excited about how we're going to be able to focus.
Yeah.
Because when we say this is our identity, you channel your energy there. And we have been, but now we get to like all own it. And listen, like your identity might shift throughout the years, right? Like there might come a day where there becomes a different identity, and I'm not like, let God lead us through that. But where we are right now with where we've been and where we're going, I think that's really who we are. And I don't think anyone would necessarily disagree with that. And again, it doesn't leave anyone behind. But like, if you want to grow as a church in the right ways, you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And why you're there. And this is what we're doing, and this is why we're here. So more family Sundays, more Nerf and nachos, more VBSs, more Christmas skits, more ideas of discipleship and connecting throughout the week, more parental support and discipleship. That's where we're going to pour our resources. It does mean that there are things we can't do.
Yeah.
We're going to have to weigh those things and say, are we equipped to do this or not? Is this going to pull us away from our main mission, or does it not even connect with our main mission? Or, things have to make sure they don't pull away from that while we do all the other things. I mean, we're still going to do, and this is partly why we brought back on Refuel children and youth ministry as well. But we're still going to do discipleship, one-on-one and all those things. We're still going to focus on adult needs and those. I mean, we're still going to do those things. But our primary reason for existing is to raise up the next generation so that there are Christians who are holding up the church in the years to come.
Absolutely.
So here we are.
Speaking my language.
I know. I know. All right, so real quick today, let's see, we're at 46 minutes. So we got about 15 minutes left before we like to cut off. We've been talking through the Old Testament. And we've been blazing through Exodus in the few weeks that we've done it this way. And we're not trying to go chapter by chapter or thought by thought even. Yeah. We're just kind of like the overarching theme or the rhythm of the Old Testament is, kind of that Scott Daniels shows in Embracing Exile, the cycle.
Yeah.
You're in a good relationship with God, and then everything's going well, and then like all things, you start to leave God behind. You get warnings through the prophets, stop living like this. They don't stop, and then they end up, God gives them over to adversaries. They end up in exile, stripped away, and God just gives them up. And then they, after a while of being in exile, they're like, God, please help us. Why are you forgetting us? And God hears their cry, and he sends help, and he delivers them from exile. He brings them back home, and then everything's going really well. And then they just start
over and over
and over again. Yep. And when you start to read the Old Testament with that lens, it helps you see how it all fits together.
Yeah.
Because we've been saying that the Old Testament can be a bit cumbersome.
Yep.
It's a lot. It's the vast majority of our canon.
And it's very, very old.
And it's very old, and it's repetitive because of oral tradition, and they wanted people to memorize. And so it's very cumbersome. And it's also because of how we've ordered it in the canon that it's hard to connect what goes where, right? And so when you start to read it this way in this cycle, and when you read the prophets, you can start to envision in your mind, oh, they're here on the circle. I might not know all the particulars, but they're here on the circle. Mm-hmm. They're in exile, or they're about to go in exile, like you're reading Jeremiah, or you hear in Ezekiel with the dry bones, like they've been in exile, and God's saying, I will breathe life into you, those kinds of things. I will restore you. You start to be able to kind of witness that. But in the narrative portions of the Old Testament, Genesis, Exodus, and whatnot, you start to see that pattern. Mm-hmm. You might not get all the prophet voices and stuff like that, but you see over and over again where they just keep going further and further down the hill, and the cycle just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. You get Judges and Kings and Samuel, and you just see the ball just roll down the hill in terrible ways. And it's just that cycle of God's people having everything well. So we're in Exodus, and this is like the beginning. Everything has been miserable, right? Yep. Like the Pharaoh forgot Joseph. The people are overwhelming, but they need them to get the work done, so they enslave them, and they treat them harshly. They kill their babies. They don't want them to get too strong because then they can overcome. And God sends Moses, and everything gets harder for a little bit, but God delivers them with power through the plagues. And then they're wandering through the wilderness, and then here comes Pharaoh. and they got Moses on one side and a body of water, and then they've got Pharaoh on the backside, and they're just going to die. And they're, here, God just brought us out here to die in the wilderness. And then God opens the sea, but they got these pillar cloud, pillar fire, and God's right there in the sky. And I do remember we said this, we keep asking if God could give us more proof that God's there, it'd be so much easier. It's like, look at Israel.
Yeah.
He is literally a fire in the sky and a cloud at night or whatever it was, and
they still
after a while, and he did all the plagues and all the things of power, and they still after a while are just like, I don't know if he's up there.
Yeah.
And if God wrote in the sky, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. After a while, we'd be like, who wrote that up there?
That's right.
Did the airplane guys write that up there? Is that like a proposal?
Yeah.
Where's God at?
Yeah.
Why is God not here? Mm-hmm. And so, as much proof as we want God to give us on our natural human nature, we'll get used to it.
We do.
We get used to miracles all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, well, where's God at? He's not doing anything for me. And it's like, it's like we've seen it and we've heard it so much. We're just kind of like, I need something more powerful to prove it to me. So God saves them from all of that. Now we're in the wilderness. And this is going to be a trip. I haven't thought much about all these chapters. When you look at chapter 22 or chapter 15, verse 22 on to all the way to the mount. There's a lot of laws that come in there. Moses kind of ordering the people. But one of the things that I see happening as soon as they get in the wilderness, before they get to the mountain, you see this pattern in Exodus of complaint.
Mm-hmm.
They just had God deliver them from Egypt. And they just watched the most powerful army in the world get swallowed up by the water. And now they're in this, I don't know where we are, right? And they start to complain about, we're thirsty.
Yeah.
Where are we going to get water? And the first water they come up to is a bitter, bitter water. And they're just complaining. And over you hear these things like, oh, why did God bring us out here? He just brought us out here to kill us. He doesn't really love us. And I'm not saying it's in that verse specifically, but it's just constant complaint. We're hungry. Why did God bring us out here? We're so hungry. He doesn't love us. We don't have any food. God's not really real, And I think you read this in Numbers. Numbers has some of the wilderness narratives in it too. Mm-hmm. I believe it's Numbers. I get those two books mixed up sometimes. But anyway, it's like, that we would just go back to Egypt. At least
we would die with full bellies.
Oh, man. Do you remember the rice cakes we used to eat there? We knew what we were going to eat. We might not have liked the food, but at least we knew what we were going to eat. And at least we knew what life was like. Out here, it's just like, how are we going to make it? Those kinds of things. Yeah. And it's just constant complaint. Oh, just take us back. Just take us back to Egypt. And you see it with the water, the food. Then you get God. So what? God makes bitter water sweet by Moses just throwing a piece of wood into the water. And then you get God saying, okay, fine, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you quail by night. I'm going to send you manna from heaven, bread. And you're going to gather up only what you need each day. It's not going to rot or spoil for that day. Only what you need that day, which I think is like really cool when you think about it. Like, I'm going to remind you every day I'm providing for you. Not once a week. Every day. I'm going to give you food. And every day you're going to pick it up and you're going to remember, I'm giving you food.
Yep. And
manna is fun because it means what is it? What is it? I don't know.
Don't know. What is
we
it?
eat. What is it?
That's fun.
So God gives food and water all along the way. They get to the mountain, right? And Moses is up on the mountain. They see God raining down in terror up there on the mountain. Moses is up there on the mountain. No one else can go. And after a while, Moses doesn't come back. It's just we need a leader who's here with us. We don't even know where Moses is. So they look to Aaron, and they're like, we need a God that will lead us. And so Aaron relents and they give all of their gold over and they make golden calves, right? They're worshiping these golden calves, making a plan to go back to Egypt all over again.
The good old days.
Yeah.
That's what they're going back to.
I like that.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So then they go to the river's edge into the land of Canaan. They see the land of Canaan, and they send 12 spies, and they come back, and Joshua and Caleb are like, don't you worry. But the 10 other spies are like, whoa, we're ants.
We got to go back.
And then the people are like, just take us back to Egypt. God doesn't love us. He just brought us out here to kill us. Why did God bring us out here? It's just complain. And then God says, I'm done.
Yeah.
I've done everything for
Yeah.
you. I gave plagues. I showed you my power through miracles. I preserved your life in Egypt. I guided you to the water. I conquered. You walked through dry ground in the middle of the water, and I wiped out all of Egypt. I gave you water when you complained. I gave you food every single day when you complained. I gave you land. It's all right. I gave you land when you were complaining. I did all of these things when you were complaining, and here we are. You're looking in the promised land, and I'm giving you all this land. You can see it. They brought back all the fine things that I promised you. I literally, and you're just complaining.
Yep.
You're just complaining. And God just says, go back. Go back to the wilderness, and you're going to just die out there.
Literally.
Literally. This whole generation, you've just been complaining.
Yep.
And when the next generation gets their acts together, whoa, if that doesn't fit well with who we are as a church,
Yep.
I don't know what does. It'll be the next generation that learns to be faithful that will lead into God's promises. And even Moses caves at one point and then loses his inheritance as well. He has to watch the land from a distance. I like what you said. This is like the majority of the wilderness text. All that God's done is just complaining.
Yep.
Complaining. God's wrote his name in the sky. Complain. Lightning, thunder, cloud, fire, food, water. Complain. I like what you said there, though. Take us back to the good old days. What's wrong with that?
With the good old days?
No, not with the good old days. What's wrong with that
Mentality?
The good old days were there for a reason.
Right. So it's kind of like Lot's wife, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can't move forward in God's will for your life if you keep looking back at what he's delivering you from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you make an idol out of it.
yes, you can look back on it fondly.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
That's good. Celebrate it. Remember it well. Yeah.
But if God is having to drag you to his will, kicking and screaming,
yeah,
he's going to leave you to your devices, because we have to choose God.
Yeah, and I think what we do, I think this is what, when you said this at the golden calf part, what we do is we look back thinking, get back to the good old days. We look back thinking those were the perfect days.
Yeah.
And we trap God in time when the history of God's people, and us included, is that we weren't perfect back then. And God's been wanting to grow us and mature us and call us out to him, and not the things we used to do or the comforts we used to have, but draw us closer to him.
I also think that it's important to remember that any kind of growth or maturity that happens will be uncomfortable.
Has to be.
It will be uncomfortable. You won't necessarily like it in the midst of it, but you have to follow what God has placed in front of you.
Yeah.
And if you keep complaining and looking back and saying it was better back then you're no longer in God's will.
Yeah, because any sign of difficulty of following God is met with a complaint.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I complain about the complexity of children's ministry.
Mm-hmm. It is complex.
It's agitating.
It is.
You know how I complain about it? I complain about all the bad actors that made all this have to happen.
Yeah.
The bad apples that harmed kids for years.
Mm-hmm.
And now small churches, you have to have all these things in place that are expensive and time consuming and people consuming and resource consuming. You gotta have, and I complain about that. I remember I was talking to Jim. It was a Friday morning. We used to have a Friday morning small group when we did small group ministry, and we met here at the church, and it was mostly kind of our older congregants. Mm-hmm. I remember I was leading that one, and I remember talking to Jim. Jim and Doris were here, and I remember saying to Jim, I wish I could live in the 70s. When I look back at the 70s, it was just so much easier. Like for a pastor, for a church, like people liked the church. People went to church. People were involved in the church. Mm-hmm. But also you didn't have social media. You didn't have the internet. Life was just easier back. I just wish I could go back to the 70s. It's just so much better of a time. Of course, I didn't grow up in the 70s.
Right.
And you kind of look back through kind of rose-tinted glasses. And I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm thinking of that 70s show or something like that. And but I'm thinking, it was easier. It was better, simpler. And Jim said one of the most profound things I've ever heard. He said, yeah, but we had just as many problems in the 70s as we do now. He said every generation has a lot of problems. I mean, they had the Vietnam War going, or the effects of it. And he just started to list off a few things that were not good. And in that moment, I was profoundly, kind of awakened. It's like, oh, I think I made a golden calf out of an era a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Because I thought that golden calf, those are the days I look back on fondly. But the golden calf is where we start to worship those days instead of the one calling us further and further ahead. Mm-hmm. More and more committed to Him. He's our King. Mm-hmm. He's our authority. He's the one that we base our lives around. And golden calves aren't just nostalgia and take us back to the good old days, but it's also the things we don't want to let go of from the good old days or the past or whatever you might want to call it. Following God is costly, and it does mean a lot of unknowns. And it means that we can't chase the things that we know or that are comfortable, because those are some of the things that God's calling us out of to form us into a totally different people. We've been talking about holiness on Sunday mornings. Set apart. Not mundane, out of the ordinary. And this holy God wants to make us holy. Not like everything else. Not like everyone else, but drastically different than everyone else. And that's what God's been doing from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. I think that's what we see wrestling in the Old Testament. Right here, at least in the Exodus story, is the resistance to holiness.
Oh, yeah. That's their whole complaint, is that God is trying to create them to be, what's the phrase of priesthood
of all
yeah
believers,
yeah
maybe
so
that's kind of a new thing,
but they are wanting to go back and not be set apart.
Yeah.
And that's the cycle.
You'll
They
see
don't
it in
wanna be
Samuel
set apart.
right away. Yeah, that's exactly
They
right.
want to be like everybody else.
And once God finally gets them in the promised land, that's when you see them really start to negotiate with God.
Yeah.
Do we really have to be different?
Right.
Do we really have to be different? I think for us today as Christian people, I think it's important to look at that cycle. Looking backwards and wanting things to be easier can cloud our vision to keep us from trusting in the Lord and keep us from seeing the signs in the sky that God really is with us.
Yeah.
And so we got to be careful, right? When we start to feel that complaint on our lips, where's God at? And it's not that like the Psalms are a great example. That's okay to say. Where are you?
Yeah.
How long, O Lord, will you forget me? How long, O Lord, will you look the other way? But I love the Psalms because we don't tend to finish the thought. You know, even Jesus, when he says, my God, why have you forsaken me? We stop. Jesus knew, and so did all the Jews. They knew the rest of that psalm. And we tend to stop at that, how long, O Lord? Now, what I love about the Psalms, though, is they always end with, but I trust in your unfailing love. It's like we have permission to say, God, where are you? But I trust you right now. And I think it's important in times when we want to complain, recognize where we are in our cycle and hear the word of the Lord. It's like, look around.
Yeah.
God is with you. Don't let looking backwards to the comforts of where we were or where you were cloud your vision that the God who called you is faithful. And he is working with you right now. Just keep following him. Don't make idols. Don't complain. Let God hear your lament, but continue on in trust. I trust in you. And I think that's what God was asking for with these first generation of Israelites all the way up until they were sent back into the wilderness. Would you just trust me?
Yeah.
How do you think that relates to Advent?
Ooh, that's a good question. So we've been so far
An hour and 7 minutes.
Okay,
So
I'll be
let's
quick.
take like
I'll be
3
quick.
minutes.
So we've done hope
And peace.
and peace so far. This year specifically, as I'm going through, we're doing a shortened version of the O Holy Night study. As we're going through it, I keep reminding the kids that no matter what we are feeling inside, we can feel that, but still know that we have hope in Jesus. We have peace in Jesus. And it's all about trusting in God's will, in God's plan, in God's godness. So that's what we've been talking about. I think that goes well.
I think so. And remember, Advent is a nostalgia. We are looking backwards. We're looking backwards to Christmas Day. But Advent, and I think this is why it's so good that it goes backwards for us, because in human nature is to always start backwards.
Right.
But Advent starts looking ahead. And so it's counterintuitive. Again, human nature. We start with a day that hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
And we look forward to the second coming of Jesus when all things are made well.
Yeah.
Right? But we're still looking backwards. We're still got that nostalgia going on. But the nostalgia doesn't freeze us in time. It pushes us forward. So I think it's just this reminder in Advent. Keep following the God that's ahead of you. Not in Egypt. Egypt wasn't perfect. Harbor wasn't perfect 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 50 years ago. Our music wasn't perfect 50 years ago. Our preaching wasn't perfect 50 years ago. Our ministries weren't perfect 50 years ago. Our methods weren't perfect 50 years ago. We follow the God who continually refines. who continually draws us towards a holy future when everything will be made well. And God, every single day and every single week is breaking into our everyday existence to soften the edges, so to speak, to refine who we are as God's people. And so we look back with that nostalgia, but we always move forward knowing God's making everything better every day.
Yeah.
That's holiness, people.
Yeah.
The world doesn't need to rot and burn to the ground. It can become more holy until Jesus returns. And that should be our focus. So I love that kind of idea. So where you are in Advent this year, I think your test in Christmas time every year, I think our test as God's people is to look back and just complain. And listen, this past year and a half for me since coming back from sabbatical has fallen short in every mark of what I ever hoped it would be as a pastor. And I'm not trying to pick on anything. I'm not trying to set a fire. It has fallen short and been one of the most disappointing seasons for me as a pastor. My temptation at Christmas time is to look back and complain about it. And complain about all of it, and I don't even want to articulate what some of those complaints might be, but that would be, and even through a hard year. For some of us, we're going through a hard year right now. A lot of firsts coming up for some of us. And our temptation is going to be, and the devil would love for us to be Lot's wife and constantly be looking behind and only ever see behind and only hate right now, because everything behind is gone. I think the devil would love nothing more than for you to just complain all the time, to make an idol out of yesterday. But we are people of hope. And so I want to challenge you in this Christmas season when you get extraordinarily blue or like me, maybe a bit cynical or frustrated, or you just want to complain. I want you to gut check and say, am I only looking back? Or is my hope for the future impacting even the gloominess of today? God is still providing bread and water and a future. God is still doing that for us. And if we just kind of stop and look around at the little things that we kind of gloss over now, especially the nostalgic story of Christmas and gospel sermons like what we're preaching on Sunday, if we just kind of take a second to look at that, we might still lament, and we should. God, why? But it should always channel us into, but God, I trust you. And as I remember your light breaking into the world, I trust that your light's still breaking in now. And God, I trust that one day everything will be okay. And if we can keep going down that path, we won't be people who are constantly trying to go backwards, but we will be people who will faithfully, fully trusting in the Lord, following God into the great unknown, even when it looks like the giants are too big for us to overcome. Anyway, follow Jesus. That's all I got to say. Hey guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. And Caitlin will not be so tired, and Josh will not be so tired.